They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Hello and welcome to the Farmer's Kitchen. Hello, Mrs. Farmer.
Mr. Farmer, how are you?
Are you hungry?
I'm starving.
Would you like to eat?
I would.
Would you like me to start or you want to start?
I want good regular food with like meat first and then we'll have dessert. How's
So you
that?
want the entree?
I want the entree, yes.
See if I can hook
Okay.
you up. All right, if you look at our bounty, now you know, if you watch our show, you know that we like to bring things from the woods, from the waters, and bring it in and eat it. Whether we raised it ourselves or we caught it or took it in the field, that's one of my favorite things. It's that time of year. Look, Mrs. Farmer, at
I love those.
these beauties.
Those are pretty, aren't they?
These are morels, real, true morels. Now look
I love 'em.
how symmetrical they are. Look at the design. And look, I'm gonna cut one right in half here. Now we haven't cleaned these up, but if you go to cut a true morel in half, look what you see. This is the perfect illustration. See how the stem is continuous all the way through the top? If this was a false morel, what would you see, Mrs. Farmer?
It wouldn't be hollow like that, right?
You would see a stem that is completely full of cottony fiber. This is a perfect illustration of what a true morel looks like.
It's clean too, isn't it?
Smell that.
It's really clean.
It is super clean. Now, I don't know if Rick rinsed these out or not.
They look good.
You want to look for bugs. You want to look for dirt.
Right.
These grow on the ground in the dirt. We had somebody on our show one time, we had some celery sitting there that had a little bit of dirt on it, and they said, oh my, that celery has got dirt on it. I'm like, it grew in dirt.
That's right.
And I would rather eat the dirt on the celery, well, we cleaned it off half the
Yes.
time, but I would rather eat the dirt on the celery than some of the chemicals that you get from things nowadays.
Right, right.
So look at these beauties. Now some people call these dry land fish. Oh,
Perfect.
Look at
That's
that. I
perfect.
think he rinsed them out. So our buddy Rick Hill, who is an extraordinary artist,
Yes, he is.
and a friend, and he is one of the most amazing naturalists I have ever been around. I love to go to the woods with him. When I was a kid, when I first started working at Fish and Wildlife, him and I worked together, and he would point this tree out or that tree out, and what's the bark on this tree? Farmer, remember this. And he was one of my mentors.
One of your elders?
He's not that much older than I am.
teasing.
But you know, when I was a kid, I was looking for the old white-headed guy. Now, Rick's not that much older than me, but he had that knowledge. He had that interest. And so he shared that with me, and I'll never forget that. So here we are with our morels. This, if you'll take a look, is fresh wild turkey. Now, the thing, you know, when it's a wild turkey, if you see like a little piece of feather right there, you might want to look just a little bit because he's been shot.
That's right.
He's been hunted. What could be better than a fresh turkey, fresh from the woods? It's been eating bugs, it's been eating
Right.
grass, it's been eating all kinds of natural stuff. This is a fresh piece of turkey. So we were taking stock of what we had in our kitchen today, and I said, I've got an idea. Can you make us some of your dough with lard? And I said, let's do two things with this. Since we've got the dough out,
That's right.
your side of the bargain is,
It's going to be with apples.
it's a wonderful dessert.
Yes, it is.
I already ate one.
Yes, you did. You ate two.
I'm gonna make a pot pie. Now this recipe you could do with chicken, you could do without mushrooms. We're gonna substitute what you would normally put in, say you wanted a starch and you want to put potatoes in. I'm gonna substitute the potatoes for morels because we have them.
So nice.
Now morels themselves, if you just wanted to take them and really have yourself a good snack, if you wanted these for a side, take them, cut them up. Some people put a little bit of flour on them. You can do that, you can bread them. I like them in butter
That's how I like them.
with onions or a little bit of garlic. Mainly sweet onions.
Oh, yeah.
Just mix them up, turn them up, and you got something good. So what we're gonna do to get this thing started, Mrs. Farmer, is we're gonna bring this turkey breast over here. Now it is a little tougher, and I wanna thank another buddy, Tim Sloan. I haven't had the chance to get out and hunt much.
You haven't?
Tim Sloan got his bird the other day, and he says, hey, you wanna have a breast?
Yes.
I said, yes, I do. So he was gracious enough to give me this. So what I'm gonna do with this breast, before I put it in here, I'm gonna tenderize it just a little bit. I'm gonna use probably half of this. I'd guess this to be about 2 pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half. Good sharp knife always helps. And again, obviously, if this is a hunted bird, you would wanna look real good for pellets. And you think about a domestic turkey as opposed to a wild turkey. Think about how it lives its life. First of all, he's out foraging. He's eating grass, he's eating buds, he's eating insects, he's eating natural things. So everything in the woods also wants to eat him.
Right.
Everything from coyotes to bobcats, eagles, anything that can get their teeth or talons in a turkey. Look, would you not want to eat that?
Oh yeah. So he can't relax, is what
So
you're saying.
he can't relax.
That's right.
They are strong flyers. Strong flyers. You've seen them fly completely across the interstate. When they get up and go, they can get up and go. Their legs are tough. We've taken their legs, and another buddy of mine, Billy Bob, used to take them and cut those up and make a pate out of that. Really cook them down until you could do something with them. So here's what we're going to do, Mrs. Farmer. I'm going to take a piece of plastic, and I'm just going to tenderize that just a little bit. Now I'm going to come back and cut that into small bite-sized pieces. Think about the size of a piece of meat that you would want in your pot pie.
Right.
You wouldn't want it to be
No.
the size of your
Just
head.
little babies.
Now we're starting off with a little onion right here.
Gotta have
How many
onion.
recipes have started like this, Ms. Farmer?
All of them.
160,000? All right, let's start also. Ms. Farmer can't stand butter, can you?
I hate butter.
Cut my onion. I'm going to use probably 3/4 of this onion. Not the whole thing. I'm going to cut it up into fingernail-sized pieces. So we're going to have just about that much. Now, this being a pot pie recipe, if you don't like mushrooms or you don't have the ingredients for this, again, the basics are we've got cream of chicken soup, we've got peas and carrots. I like the frozen ones. When it comes to a pot pie, the frozen ones are just absolutely, there's something about them, absolutely wonderful. I guess that's what I'm used to having my whole life. And it's a lot easier to cut tiny little squares of carrots.
Yeah, that's right.
When it comes to pastries or any kind of pie dough or anything like that, Nikki has a simple recipe that she uses and includes lard. We prefer lard. You don't have to use that if you don't want to.
Yes, you do. Okay.
If you want to do a little research, if you're thinking, oh no, people tell us that we can't eat lard, do a little research. Know what you put in your body. Sometimes you're going to splurge. Sometimes you're going to eat things you just shouldn't eat, and we're going to do that. All right, these are getting close. So now, Mrs. Farmer, what do you think we should do? How about, let's say, just a little bit of duck fat in here?
I think good idea.
Just a little duck fat. And we're going to set these aside in a minute. But our onions are to the point where they're getting done. I'm going to take some of these beautiful, wonderful mushrooms, and I'm going to cut those. I'm going to eat the stem too.
Oh yeah, they're delicious.
Beautiful, wonderful.
It is beautiful.
I'm going to pop that in there. And presentation-wise, these are quite beautiful. Now, if you would prefer no mushrooms, again, if you wanted to starch in this, a more classic take on the pot pie would probably be some potatoes. If you did that, I would just boil me some redskins, cut those up into little cubes, leave the skins on them. So we're going to go wild turkey and morel pot pie. Are you kidding me?
That's amazing.
That's out of control.
I like it.
Does that make you happy?
It does make me very
Let me see
happy.
your happy look.
When I'm hungry, I'm always happy when you're cooking.
All right. Now, when these start to cook really good, in with those, do you see, with a little bit of duck fat, you see the kind of, you smell that earthy
I do.
flavor? That's going to go throughout this whole thing, and that's going to really give you a great taste. It's going to be subtle, but I mean, when you have your pot pie, it's not going to be like your normal chicken pot pie.
I'm excited. I'm ready. Okay,
Oh,
Sammy.
my. That's beautiful. Now at this point, I'm going to start guiding my recipe into the right flavor. I'm going to put a little poultry seasoning in. All right, let's get a spoon and dip those out. So all those folks who are asking, what can I do with my morels? What can I do with my turkey? Here's one recipe.
Duck fat again.
Duck fat.
Yeah.
Now why duck fat?
Because it tastes so wonderful.
It does. Every little subtle thing that you do to add flavor, all those little subtle things that you do on the front end come together in the end for something special. Duck fat is becoming more and more common in any store that we go into. I always look around to see if they have duck fat or beef tallow, and I'm seeing it more and more. It's much more easy to find than it used to be. And again, nothing we're doing here, we're trying to be fancy schmancy or hooty tooty. We want that taste to just knock us out when we eat it. I want Miss Farmer to be so impressed that she comes out and plants one right here on my face in front of everybody.
I will. I'm excited.
Oh, was that for the mushrooms?
That is. Those mushrooms are delicious.
Let's cook mushrooms more often. And something else I'm going to do in lieu of more salt is I'm going to take a chicken bouillon cube for flavor to really bring up that
Oh yeah, good idea.
salt and deep bouillon flavor. Now, when we get to this point, I'm going to back off the heat a little bit. I'm going to take some cream of chicken soup. You can buy it or you can make your own. We've got roughly 20 ounces here. So we're going to let everything start to get acquainted. Now remember, we've got our bouillon cube here. We're going to do that for flavor. I'm going to use probably half of this because I already have put some salt in there. A little more pepper. Got to have black pepper.
Oh yeah.
Some more poultry seasoning. And you kind of know the more you cook how much you should put into this or that. We're going to come back with our mushrooms and onions that we cooked earlier.
This is smelling so good.
I could eat that right there in a cereal bowl. And then peas and carrots.
Yummy.
Some peas and carrots. And that's probably about 12 ounces of peas and carrots. Now, does that not look like
That looks perfect.
the interior
Yes,
of a
perfect.
pot pie? Is that not beautiful?
That
Tell
is
you one thing
beautiful.
I'm going to add, and I'm going to put, I really like, you're going to think I'm strange, but just a little bit of basil.
Basil. I love basil.
A little bit of dried basil.
Yeah.
Some people would put parsley. I find dried parsley to taste like cardboard. Basil has a little more flavor. It has a sweet
Like your
flavor.
basil.
It really goes good
Yeah.
with chicken. So we're going to heat that up just a little bit, but not much. We're well on our way to a wild turkey morel.
Oh yeah. Pot pie.
Now let's smell. Oh, are you kidding me?
I could eat that like that.
I think he's going to make a simple dough.
That's right. With our lard.
A pie dough with
That's
our
right.
lard. And you can use this for a lot of things. But this is going to be used for two things tonight.
It is. That's right.
Show us how you do it.
Okay, and I actually look at our beautiful lard. I mean, come on.
Leaf lard from a
Yes.
pasture-raised pig. Look it up.
Got to start with that. And I've let it set out a little so you can see it's a little gooey. That's how I like it. I've got 2/3 of a cup in here. And give me probably just a couple throws in there. Just like
One.
put a little sugar. Do one more maybe. Just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. All right. And I got 2 cups of flour here.
All right. You know how you have fleeting memories when you're a kid and you remember certain little things? I remember my great-grandmother Parrot. I remember the smell of her kitchen. Precisely. I remember the smell of apples. She always had apples. And I always remember a faint little smell from the gas stove. And I always smelled matches from when she would light the
Oh, yeah.
stove. And my first taste of buttermilk, she snuck it in on me. She said, "Here, Timmy, you want a glass of milk?"
I
said,
bet you
"Yeah."
love that.
And I was expecting milk. She laughed and laughed. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was terrible.
You still like buttermilk.
I like
You're right.
buttermilk, but I don't think I want to drink a big cup full of it.
You see how this is kind of thicker? This is what I like with the lard. And I'm just kind of working it myself with my hands.
Now here's the beauty of this. After we make our 2 little ramekins full of this, we got some left over. What do we do with it, Ms. Farmer?
We freeze it.
We
I mean,
freeze it.
right.
Next time we want some, all she has to do is make her dough and we pop that in and we're good to go. I wish everybody could smell what we've got going on right here.
And we are going to roll these out to fill these 2 pie shells.
All right?
All right.
And there it is.
There's one. I'm going to go ahead and tuck it in there. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to seal it.
Oh. I remember Mom taking her time with a fork or whatever it was to make everything look really pretty.
Yeah, beautiful.
I think you did a better job on the one on the right.
Yeah, all right.
Now she's putting a leg white on there. That's just gonna make that brown up nice and beautiful. Oh me, oh my. I had a book when I was a kid. It had a picture on it, but it was a muffin. And it was, do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man.
Do you know where he lived?
Drury Lane?
He lived on Drury Lane. And also we had a book that had hot cross buns. You remember that?
I do.
Back in the 1800s when we
That's
were kids?
right. Yeah, when we were born.
All right, you know what, Ms. Farmer? You look at that. Now,
They're pretty.
I think it did a little better job on that.
Oh, they're both-
This was the first one.
Beautiful, both of them.
But you might have some bubble up and leak out. But what you want to do, now you notice I cooked that a little bit here on purpose because at this point, we could eat that. We could eat this. This is going to cook it a little bit more. And when that gets nice and brown, you have your bread for the night. You have a whole meal right there.
Yes.
So let's pop it in, top or bottom?
Top.
I'm going to go 375 on that for about 35 to 45 minutes, depending.
Yeah.
If we start getting nice and brown, we're there.
Okay.
Let's get this cleaned up, put in the freezer, and then you're going to make your super duper dessert.
Okay.
So we're going to call this, we pitched this around, we're kind of impromptu. Kelly came up with apple bucket.
Good idea.
It's a baby apple bucket.
Yes, it is.
You get all kinds of fun stuff. If you look what we've got here, we've got oatmeal, you've got pecans, you've got brown sugar, you've got raisins, you've got apples. And this is a typical, like your grandmother's
apple crunch.
Apple crunch.
Right.
But we're going to add a little cinnamon sugar, of course, and some allspice, just to give it some nice flavor. You could even put a little vanilla in here if you wanted to.
That would be good too.
We're going to take this and we're going to make us a slurry
That's right.
of wonderment.
And cook it up and yum.
Cook it up, pour it over the apples. And we're going to use more of her dough because she already made dough.
Right.
And you think about it, that's our bread for the night. That's not a whole lot of dough. That's not a whole lot of dough.
Nah.
But it's like a couple pieces, a couple slices.
Perfect.
So make your magic, Mrs.
All right.
Farmer.
And we're going to just make, and this will probably be a little bit more. We're only going to make two because me and you, Kelly, refuse to eat.
And there's, I mean,
Yes.
this is
a big.
This is a big bunch.
But I'm going to just use 2 apples with this recipe. And I like my little apple cutter here.
You leave the peelings on?
No, I'm going to cut the peelings off.
Gotcha.
And these things are wonderful for apples.
Yes, they
I'll give you that. We're done with that.
Very much.
And we also have a fun little tool that we found at an antique store that your mom used.
These are general cutters. I mean, you can
love
cut your
that.
butter into your flour.
Love it.
Mom used it to cut cabbage in her into the seasoned relish or chow chow. She uses that.
And you found me that at Antique Mall, and I'm so excited. I'm going to use that for all
We
this.
found the green. We found green in all kinds of antique stuff. We need to display that somehow, Mrs. Farmer.
Yes, we do. All right, so now it's just kind of my time of me cutting the skins off these apples.
So measurement-wise, we have 2 apples cut.
2 small apples. Yep.
Pecans.
I got a 1/4 cup of pecans.
Quarter cup.
Yep.
Oatmeal.
1/4 cup of oatmeal.
All right.
That's flour. Just thicken up.
Quarter cup.
Everything's quarter.
Oh,
Makes it easy. Brown sugar, 1/4 cup.
And you don't have to put raisins in it, but I
But
love
you love
it.
raisins. Now I need my fancy little chopper like your mom had. I love this.
Right.
And this is so nice for cutting everything. I remember her doing that when she cooked on the show.
I'm excited for both these recipes because it's good country down-home stuff. And you know what? They'll be really cute sitting side by
Yes, they
side.
will.
Now you're doing this in a muffin pan.
I am. And I already made the dough, like you said, I had extra, and I'm going to put those in, and we're going to fold
Kinda
them back
fold it up
over
around it.
and make our little buckets. If you want to start that butter, I have half a stick of butter,
All right.
and you're so good at. I'm going to let you season that up with what you think would be good.
So what we're going to do here is just put a little white sugar, all the cinnamon. You got to have some cinnamon. What do you say? 1/4 teaspoon.
Yeah.
And some allspice.
You know what else we need?
Lemon.
Yes, a little bit of lemon.
Gotta have some lemon.
And I got a little bit of lemon juice here. How much you think I have? About half of a lemon.
I would say that's a teaspoon.
I'm going to put it all in because I like that lemony flavor.
That gives you a little bit of a bite.
Yeah.
This really does smell like one of those home candles that smells like cinnamon. And I smell your apples over there. If you could smell our kitchen right now, you'd want a candle.
Delish.
You'd want a candle with that smell.
All right, I'm going to switch this with this, and I'm going to go ahead and do my muffins with my pre-made, and they don't have to see how they're nothing fancy. They're not
Do you
perfect.
know the Muffin Man?
I know the Muffin Man. And I'm just going to tuck these in and leave the edges out because we're going to pull those up around our
Oh my. All right, you ready for my?
Yes.
Beautiful, yummy.
It smells delicious.
Oh.
And we probably won't need all this. We could have made a bunch more. But we don't need a bunch more because we'll eat them all.
That's exactly right. And again, what happens if you make too much? You pop it in the freezer.
for
Next
later.
time you make your simple dough and you're good to go.
Yes, now we're filling these up. See, and it's nothing fancy around the edges. We're going to pull it over into our little apple buckets.
Oh. And again, a egg white wash on the top of that.
Definitely to make it.
I'm looking at my pot pies. They're getting close over there.
So it's all about pies today. All about the pies. You know what? We're almost going to use all this. All right, now we're just going to fold these over. Nothing fancy, just kind of bringing them up. So there's kind of a little hole. See how it's like a little beautiful flower? I'm going to put a little egg white on these too because that makes them brown up nice.
You want to do the cinnamon first or after?
I'd say after, and that way it'll stick. What do you think? Stick on the top of it.
I'm just taking a little bit of white sugar and cinnamon.
Beautiful. Do we need more sugar?
You know what make this really nice, Miss Farmer? Some ice cream.
I say I hope you bought ice cream.
I did.
Okay, good.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Now these have to go 40 minutes at 325.
325.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So it'll be perfect time for dessert.
All right. You know, they say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet.
I've seen you eat chicken feet.
But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets.
I do too.
But first, Mrs. Farmer,
Do I get to dig in?
dig in.
Can I dig in
That's
anywhere?
That's gonna be hot.
Anywhere?
Yeah, it's all yours.
I can just destroy. Oh,
Come
wow.
here and get you some of that. It's gonna be hot now. You know how pot pies are.
Wow.
Can you dig it?
I love that.
Now that's the thing about pot pie. I mean, you open that thing up.
Oh, that's good.
And you remember what temperature that was in. So many times as a kid, look at that. Look at this.
Yeah.
Just look. That's the way it's supposed to look. It's the way it's supposed to smell. And
Oh, it's delicious. The crust is flaky. A little bit hot. You're blowing steam. You're supposed to blow on it. You see how flaky the crust is too?
and that's the way you're supposed to burn that's the way you're supposed to burn your tongue.
You did good.
Tell me that's not perfect.
That's perfect.
Wait a minute. That sounds like I'm ringing my own bell.
Delish.
I'm telling
Oh
you,
my goodness.
I really did burn my tongue.
That's delicious.
Oh my. I think it's worth another burn. Now, it may be subtle, but the wild turkey.
It's good. And it's nice and tender. I noticed that, is it, from what you did, the meat's good. I could eat this every day.
You know what? This is really, really good. Remember as a kid, you'd get them at the store and they're frozen?
Yes.
Well, this is better.
Yes, it is better.
Oh,
Delish. A little hot? You need a drink.
that might be my favorite pot pie.
It's delicious.
All right, so when you take a bite of this, those little peas are popping.
Oh, it's good.
You got the carrots. You know that's a natural, but you really dig deep for that flavor, and you taste the earthiness of the mushrooms. You taste just a little something different in the turkey. That is,
This is really
it's
good.
just outstanding. I can dig it.
I can too. It's
You
good.
ready for dessert?
I am.
That's just a work of art.
Isn't that pretty? You
I'm
did.
afraid to touch it.
You made it look beautiful with your mint and everything. Oh, dig inside there.
That's gonna be the same. It's gonna be super, super hot inside because, you know,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gonna get in there and get some.
Almost like an apple dumpling, but with all the gooey stuff with it. Oh my goodness.
See the ice cream? If I start to burn my tongue, I can just slide the ice cream over on top of it.
Oh, that is so good. That's dangerously good.
Oh wow! Everything was in ramekins tonight. It's ramekin night. At
It
the
is
farmer's
ramekin
house.
night. Made it fun, didn't it?
It did.
It made it fun.
And believe it or not, our half hour's up.
Yes, it is.
But if you're out there scratching your head right now and thinking, where can I find those recipes? I don't know.
Yeah.
Where would you go, Ms. Farmer?
I go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
And we have a Facebook page.
Yes.
We have lots of folks over there talking. The really weird thing about it is everybody's kind to each other over
Yes,
there.
that is so nice.
Come visit our Facebook page. Be our friend. Be kind. We visit with each other. We virtually break bread together.
Yes, we do.
Every Monday you can put your recipes on. Oh, Ms. Farmer, I just thought of this. It's really hard to get on there. How do you do it?
You hit like.
Wow. Come visit us on our Facebook page. Ms. Farmer,
Yes.
my belly's full. I've gained about 5 pounds.
That's okay.
So should I take a nap?
I'm ready for a nice nap myself.
You want me to take a nap so you can eat the rest of that?
That's right. I want you to go sit down.
At this time, I'd like to say it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and really good eats.
See you
Again.
next week on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Dig in, Ms.
I'm
Farmer.
gonna have some more.
We have been catering for a lot of years, and I wanted everything to have a specific taste. Therefore, I had to come up with my own products.
Right.
A dry rub, chow chow, and our barbecue sauce are something that we use in all our catering gigs. I developed this barbecue sauce that is not the really thick, syrupy stuff that you get. This has more of a natural, it's got some pepper and onion flavor in it. You can actually see the particulates in there. You know, a lot of people are asking what we use our dry rub on. Now, obviously, pork and chicken are two of the more common things. Also, we've been using on our corn on the cob with butter.
That is.
I'm telling you, this
That's
stuff
wonderful.
with potatoes is fantastic. So 40 years in the making, Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Dry Rub.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Emerson Farms Country Store. Something for every member of the family. Ephraim McDowell Medical Center in Danville, Kentucky. Gulf Coast Connection. Seafood straight from the Gulf to you. The Spine Center of Central Kentucky. Wilderness Road Hospitality, Stanford, Kentucky. Visit Frankfort, Kentucky's spirited capital city.